on?
Clothes, perfume, makeup, shoes, sneakers. You name it, I bought it, Sally.
Did he spend any of that 18?
He spent about $250. That was for Christmas last year. He spent that.
You told us that shopping rules your life.
It doesn't really rule my life. I just love to do it. I enjoy it.
When you go into a mall, what happens?
The first store I see, I go into and buy something.
No matter what?
No matter what. I have to buy something.
You don't shop around and compare and do that?
No, I
you
just
have
go
to
in and buy something.
something.
Yes, I do, yeah.
Before you came to the show, you made us a videotape of the things you bought. Let's take a look at that tape.
That's not everything.
Not everything?
No, that's not everything. That was something my husband bought. That was a $300 leather coat my husband bought for me. $750 worth of jewelry right there.
$750 worth of jewelry.
Cell phone.
All the clothes that you're seeing right now, the estimated value is over $1,200.
I had 2 extra bags, which were filled with cashmere sweaters and shoes and socks and everything that I did give away to a friend of mine that lived next to my mother-in-law. So that was approximately, $2,000, right?
$3,000.
$3,000. Now this mug cost me, I would say about
$17.
No, it did not cost $17. I lied about the price.
Oh,
it cost $85 for a mug, Sally. Grand total in the perfume right here and here would probably total over $500.
Rachel, what goes through your mind when you go into a mall?
I have to have something.
You have to have something.
I have to.
All right, let's back up. Before you got married, you were $3,000 in debt.
About $2,800 I was in debt.
Okay, your mom paid that off.
Yes, she did.
So that you would enter marriage, free.
She paid it off right after I got married, about a month after I got married.
So why build it up again? Does she know that you've done that?
Yes, she does. She knows how deep I'm in debt. She's very disappointed, and the reason I did it, I guess you could say, is that I was clean, I was clear, no debt at all. I wanted to have fun. I didn't think I had a good job at the time. My husband had a good job at the time. We were fine, and I wanted to just charge, and I did, and then I lost my job, he lost his job, and it all started back over again.
The debt has, now, your husband makes $4.75 an hour. And you do not work.
No.
Why?
Because I have an ulcer. I have a bleeding ulcer. I was diagnosed with a bleeding ulcer.
How can you pay off $18,000 in debt at $4.75 an hour?
You can't. There's no way.
So has that caused problems in the marriage?
Yes, back in February, we separated from February to May because of it. I went home and he went home, and we just got back together in May.
I'm dying to know what his attitude is to something like that.
Furious.
Maybe we can just bring him out. Okay? David, come on out. Your wife likes to spend money that you don't have.
Yes, very much.
How does this affect you?
Well, it's not exactly easy. I try and work as many hours as I possibly can so that I can just barely make rent and gas and electric. Any extra money that I have, I try and pay what bills I can.
Your car was repossessed?
Yes.
And do you worry? Before they knew it, they were spending way beyond their means. How much money do you and Kyle currently owe, Rebecca?
$40,000.
40. How do you go from one credit card to $40,000?
They just keep sending them in the mail. After you charge, they keep sending more and more.
What did you spend the money on?
Baby furniture. It started with baby furniture. It went from baby furniture to his CDs, his statues, his mugs, his $300 radios, You know, all kinds of stuff that this man buys, the most ridiculous things. Appliances, jewelry.
So it's him, not you?
It's somewhat me, but I buy practical things.
I know you don't always agree on money. Let's hear what Kyle has to say. Kyle, she's blaming you. Come on out. Kyle, are you spending a lot of money?
Oh, yeah. Spending a lot of money. I'm afraid so.
$40,000. Now, you want her to pay it back from her babysitting money.
No. No. What's happened is.
Does he want you to do
really?
it from your babysitting money?
Yes, I make $10 a day for babysitting these kids. Okay? And he wants me to pay back the debt on my babysitting
They have
money.
made a videotape of some of the things they've spent the money on. Because I'm saying, you said that isn't 40,000. I said, you're right. Let's take a look at this tape.
That's an angel vase. That's my $300 shelf picture. My $200 vase that stands in my doorway. My crib. My $1,500 couch. Kyle's toys. Kyle's scanner. His radio. More videotapes than you've ever seen in your life. CDs. Mugs. Stereos. I mean, just on and on. He just spends on and on.
Now, do you usually agree on what you're going to buy?
No, never. We never agree. He
Different
will,
taste.
No, not different taste. He will go and say.
Are you afraid? I'm not saying that you're afraid. Are you afraid?
I'm scared to death.
Are you afraid?
I am. I don't like being in the situation I'm in at all. I've done wrong things. I've spent freely. I'm just weak-willed. I grew up in a household where my parents gave me everything. I'm telling you, it's not a sob story. It is not a sob story.
Parents, you're an adult. Take your whole.
To pay off the debt to save her marriage, right? How much debt are we talking about?
About 30,000.
Maxed out the credit cards? Let's back up. How did you get in that much debt?
Well, I met my husband about 12 years ago, and I came from a family. My father was a bus driver. There was 4 of us, so we didn't have a lot. We were always dressed nice, but there was one present under the Christmas tree, and that was fine. I had a marriage before my husband, and we didn't have much then. So I met my husband. It was a blended family, and I had 1 child going into the marriage, and then all of a sudden I had 3 children. So I didn't know what to do with myself. I wasn't working at that time because the children were small, and his wife had passed away, his first wife. So he said, why don't you go and play bingo, and it'll be good for you and get you out of the house once in a while. Well, I liked it.
That's a lot of bingo. But can you go 30,000 in debt in bingo?
Oh, no, not just bingo. No, not just bingo. Shopping.
What do you buy?
Pretty things.
Like what?
I like the little snowballs, the little musical, anything musical, like with Send in the Clowns in it, and I like.
Do you sometimes lie to your husband?
Oh yes, yes. I've had this for years.
Okay. When our producer called to invite you to the show, you were on the line trying to persuade the bank not.
Very good job.
Okay. Deb is able to stay at home to care for their daughter. Deb says she loves to shop so much that last year she maxed out the credit cards, $24,000. What'd you buy?
What didn't I buy? I bought mostly clothes, mountain bike, a new bed, decorated our house we just built 2 years ago. A lot
Are you
of shoes.
impulsive?
Oh yeah, I shop every
Give me an
day.
example.
Even at the supermarket, I can't be in the store like 20 seconds without something in my cart, whether we need it or not. The Schwan man comes by, I'm buying stuff we don't even need. But there's not a day I don't spend money, and it's basically on clothes, shoes.
You told us your husband doesn't really know how much you buy. How do you hide things from your husband?
Oh, it's easy. I paid $82 for these shoes, but I put a red pin and marked them down to 10. So, because there was a huge sale, he didn't know. Nickels, I got these for 120, and I marked them down to 40. So I just use a red pin, mark them down. Or I'll buy myself gifts and I'll wrap them and say, like my best friend bought them, or my mom. So, things like that. Go to the bank, withdraw money, and the bank people know me. My husband makes quite a few.
Magazine. What do you think about what you've been hearing?
Well, I think that perhaps many people might not have these extreme problems, but problems with debt and with overspending are extremely common. It's not like our parents' generation. It's very easy to get credit, and it's very easy to get out of control with it.
You mean our parents couldn't get all those cards in the mail and things like that?
Yeah, really only in recent years have card companies been sending out, massive mailings to pretty much anyone who has kept a balance and has paid the minimum. So that's a real new thing.
All right, let's talk about people who are already in debt. What do?
Well,
you make $4.75 an hour and you're $18,000 gone. What do you do?
Well, again, that's kind of extreme, but in general, when you find yourself in more debt than you're comfortable with, the first thing is to do some prioritizing. Look and see what are some things that you can cut back on. Maybe you have some high-rate credit cards that you can transfer the balances to a credit card with a lower rate, perhaps. If you own a home.
You can do that? You can transfer a balance from one credit card to another?
You often can. You have to, of course, qualify for the new card, so if your credit rating is poor, that might be tough.
Okay, we're stuck.
Our only problem is that she had all the major credit cards, the Sears, the JCPenney's, all of these. When the bill started getting up, I'd take them away. I'd cut them up. That was it. She'd go back to the stores and get new cards. Cut them up again. She'd go back to the stores and get them again. Yes, you did.
No, I did
yes,
not.
You did.
I had all the original.
All right, guys.
You went to Sears.
You had a Sears. You had a JCPenney's.
You went to Sears.
All right, wait. Elizabeth, go ahead. I'm trying to learn.
Yes, that actually brings up an important point because just cutting up the card doesn't kill the account. It's very important to write to the credit card company. Calling can work, but it's good to have it in writing saying, I'm canceling this account, and that way, don't let me.
You can't just cut up your credit cards. You got to write them a letter and tell them.
But see, she would call. I'm sorry, but she would call all the places and tell them discontinue it. Stop.
No. She's got to write a letter. Calling isn't enough.
Well, this is how you get a bad credit rating because the credit rating agencies will still think that that's an open credit line, and that can hurt your rating.
Okay. If you owe the money, should you hide from the creditors?
It's probably the worst thing you can do because they'll always find you. In fact, one of the...
This is really an illness. And ill stands for I lack love. And each and every one of the people up here are really looking to plug their umbilical cords into shopping in some way because they think that's how they're going to connect with themselves. Instead, they've got to take responsibility and get a life for themselves and really... I feel so much pain up here from each and every one of them. I mean, the two of you were arguing during the break. What was that about?
It's about, I told her when we came to the show that I was going to tell the truth. I wasn't leaving anything out.
That's right.
She wants me to tell all these people out here lies.
No,
she wants me to
because
lie to
it's
them.
not a lie, David.
It is a lie.
You went and got 2 Sears cards. I asked you where you got everything, and you
got
said,
them
"Oh, I
through the
went and
mail
got a card."
Through your...
No, you didn't.
Yes.
No.
No, I don't think so.
You know something?
I don't think so.
You don't work, right?
No, I
you
just
don't
lost
work
my job due to my
because
ulcer.
you've got an ulcer.
Yes.
You've got an ulcer.
But I am looking for a job now.
You are in a hole, an emotional hole that you've got to get out of, okay? David, you're codependent with her.
No, I did not.
If you allow it to happen, David.
I don't. That's the one thing.
Forget it. Forget it. You've got to cancel all your credit cards.
They've already been.
There is nothing that you can be allowed to spend. You know, Elizabeth gave some wonderful advice. And if each one of you listened to it, you would really get yourself out of the hole.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, all right.
Excuse me.
And I want to know about addiction to shopping, addiction to spending. What is that?
The addiction to shopping is really wanting to connect with something. There is no, I mean, it's something where you're not even reality bound. When you're going into a store, and who was it up here who said that they just have to have something in their hand? I think it was you, Debbie. You have to have something in your hand. Well, I'm sorry about that. The thing you have to have in your hand is your heart and your connection to your